There are two different economic points of view. One is conservative, and the other is liberal. For decades only the conservative economic point of view was taught in schools, and this is why the United States Federal Reserve Bank and the International Monetary Fund both follow the conservative economic point of view. However, over time, people started asking why have things not gotten any better? Why does not the conservative economic point of view work? The conservative economic point of view sounds good on the surface. But when one thinks about it, most of it is not logical. Or it only works when the economy is good, which means that it is not needed. The conservative economic point of view is designed to keep as much money in the hands of the rich as possible. The liberal economic point of view has proven to work, but it does cost a lot of money to implement. But in the long term, the liberal economic point of view creates a strong economy and improves lives for everyone. For example, the country of Iceland has only two industries, which are tourism and aluminum mining. In year 2008, when the world was going through a financial crisis, the conservative economic experts said that Iceland's economy was one of the worst economies in the world. Because of this, it might take Iceland generations to fix. In the past, Iceland was run and managed mostly by conservative men. This included banking and government. Then in 2008, the people of Iceland elected women for these jobs. The president, prime minister and most of the parliament were elected women. They did the opposite of what the conservative experts said to do. They increased taxes on the rich, increased regulations and expanded social programs. This resulted in Iceland's economy making a full recovery in 1 year. Iceland's economy recovered from the 2008 financial crisis faster than all the other economies. And has been strong ever since. Countries like Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey and Pakistan are similar to Iceland. They import most of everything they need, or their imports are bigger than their exports. This means more money is going out than coming in. The conservative experts said that because of this, and corruption are why their economies are in such bad shape. Every few years, these countries ask the International Monetary Fund for money. And most of the time, the International Monetary Fund gives them the money, but with economic reforms attached. These countries get the money and try to implement the required economic reforms. One of the requirements has always been to cut or reduce social programs. However, their economies do not improve. Or their economy does improve, but only for a short time. The International Monetary Fund says that their economies are not improving, because these countries have massive corruption. The corruption is keeping the money from getting to the places it needs to be. If the corruption is so bad, then why does not the International Monetary Fund send with the money accountants? These accountants can ensure that the money is getting to the places it needs to go. And all the required reforms are implemented correctly. When the president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, started implementing more social programs, Venezuela's economy started to improve. But the conservatives talked bad about the man and called him a dictator. But from what the information I was able to attain, he was popular, and many poor people's lives improved. Their lives might not have improved by much, but his policies or new social programs did help. Plus, he did not attempt to override the National Assembly of Venezuela. Therefore, he was not a true dictator. The current president of Venezuela is Nicolás Maduro. They say that he did not win the last election, which indicates that he does act like a dictator. This is why almost all of the world's developed countries put sanctions on Venezuela. However, before the developed countries put sanctions on Venezuela, he killed all of Hugo Chávez's social programs. And when he did this, the Venezuela's economy went from bad to really bad. The point I am trying to make is that social programs create a strong economy. When you look at all the countries that have strong social programs, they have the best economies. Such as the United States, Norway, and Sweden. Iceland has the most social programs, and they have the most robust economy. The countries with little to no social programs all have the worst economies. Such as the Philippines and Thailand. Plus, just because you might call yourself a socialist country or a welfare state, such as Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Brazil, and China, does not mean that they have true social programs. True social programs include free education, free healthcare, money for the poor to buy food and housing, and money from the government to allow one to retire in dignity. Plus, an effective agricultural program. Many universities in the United States offer college degrees in agriculture, waste management, and water management. Plus, they also have strong labor laws. Labor laws that protect the worker and ensure they have time to enjoy the money they earned. So as long as these countries keep implementing the International Monetary Fund require reforms, then their economies will never truly improve. In the 1970s, Argentina implemented all of the conservatives' economic policies, and their economy kept going downhill. The father of conservatives' economic policies was Milton Friedman. In my opinion, he was a piece of shit. He knew his policies did not work. Plus, there are decades of proof that all his policies did was caused a lot of hardship and suffering. Yet, he kept pushing them until the day he died in year 2006. Liberal economics was formed from millions of people coming to the same conclusions independently. Thus, there is no father of liberal economics.